Okay, we are going to learn how to draw the ISO concentration lines for your activity today. Briefly going over the rules again. ISO lines connect points of equal value. So when we're doing our concentration map, when we're looking for certain concentrations of the contamination, you're going to want to make sure that line represents that level of contamination. ISO lines cannot cross. The reason is that point of intersection would indicate that there are two different concentrations, since each line represents a different concentration. ISO lines cannot come to a dead end. They must go off the map or make a closed loop. They cannot fork. Adjacent ISO lines must be either one contour interval apart, or they may be equal in value. So you might have two, or possibly the points in between are slightly higher or slightly lower than what that ISO line represents. And finally, if two adjacent data points are more than one interval apart, you have to assume that the other contour line would fit in between there. Estimate the position of the missing points and use them to draw your ISO lines. So here's an example. We have just simple numbers 1, 2, and 3. That in this you would connect the ones, just like connect the dots. You would then assume the 2 is going to fit between the 1 and the 3, right? So you're going to draw a line where it fits between, and then the 3. So that would represent the example. So the first practice that we have today, I'm going to go through with you. You can see here's an example map. So how do you start? The first thing you want to do is just determine, well, what number do I want to start with? It really doesn't matter which one. I want to choose one in the middle somewhere. So let's say a 23, okay? So the thought process is this. If I start here with a 23, I need to connect all areas with the 23 and make sure that my line stays between any 22s and 24s. So if I start here, maybe I want to curve it this way, and I don't know what direction this is going to curve. I'll make a little curve in it, come down here. I'm seeing 22 and 24 here, 22 and 24, so I have to make sure that my 23 line goes between them. My 23 line is going to connect here, come up here, and if I take a look, it looks like I did a pretty good job. Now, if I do a 24 line, that must be just in here somewhere. Kind of estimate a little loop possibly for that. Okay, go ahead and do this on your own paper. The next line I'm going to do is a 22. So the 22, you can start on any point. I'll just choose this one. As I'm drawing the line, I'm remembering that this line represents 23, and I'm keeping any 21s on the outside. So I see a 22 in front of me here. I'll draw that up there. See a 22 up there. Maybe curve down. I have a 22 here. I have a 22 here. A 22 here. And a 22 there. Now there are 21s. I'm going to go ahead and start over here. Connect the 21. I know it has to stay on the outside of the 22. See, if I intersected, that would mean that point of intersection would have a value of both 21 and 22, and we can't do that. Now I have a choice to make. You can try squeezing it in between here, but maybe this just goes off the side. And then you have another 21 picking up over here. Maybe that's just on the boundary. Maybe this comes off of here. And then finally the 20. The 20, just follow the curves of the others, and then you can just do a 20 right in there. Okay. Go ahead and finish filling that one in. We'll take a look at practice map 2. Now I'm just going to get you started on this, and then you can finish it on your own. Okay, taking a look at practice map 2, I can see that I have a range of numbers. I have 19, 20s, 21, 22, and so on. Okay. I might want to start with the highest value so I can kind of see where the center of this might be. The highest value I see is 24. All right. I'm just kind of, oh, there's a 25. Sorry. Here's a 25 over here, 24, 23, 22s. All right. So taking a look at the 25, kind of makes you wonder what shape this is going to be with 24s over here. So let's start with drawing a 24 line. So this 24 line has to go, has to connect these two, and I'm going to go ahead and draw kind of like this. And now it has to go between the 23 and the 25. I'm just going to have it go off the map, I think. This 24 has to go between the 23 and the 25. I'm just going to have it go off the map. Okay. I'm going to try the 23. Let's start with the 23 here. Just kind of take a look. I'm remembering that this is a 24 and there's a 22, so I'm going to connect these. I'm going to connect it here. I'm looking all around. Here's a 23 here. I'm going to connect this 23, remembering to keeping the 22s outside. I should connect that up, sorry. And okay. So I'm going to have you continue this one. Let's just go ahead and bring this 23 to the end. So every point on this line has a value of 23. Next, I would do 22, 21, and continue on. Finally, the last map that you'll do, the last two maps are on the back. One's a little more difficult than the others, but do the same process. I would suggest starting possibly with the highest value and working your way outward, or starting with the lowest value and working your way inward. And this one, it says this one is a tough one. Try starting with the 1s or 3s right in a 2 halfway between every 1 and 3. That will help you kind of stay in the pattern that you need. All right, when you are done with this, go back to the questions. If you don't have room on this page to write your questions, you can certainly find room possibly on the bottom of the front or on the back side. Okay, let's get this done today. Good luck, and let me know if you have questions.